Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Samantha and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Today we are going to be doing a special project for something that is special to each and every one of us, and that is your name. We are going to be doing name art. Now let me tell you, when I first got started with this project, I had no idea that I was going to be doing one specific artist. An artist highlight was far from my imagination, but I simply could not resist. This artist is Paul Klee. Born in the late 1800s, Paul Klee, that's Clay, not Klee, spent his lifetime doodling and experimenting with color, and he never really had a true art style. To me, that's what makes him most unique. His whimsical and childlike art just absolutely captivated me, and I had to do something about it. Honestly, it changed my life. I know that's a little bit grandiose to say, but coming across Paul Klee's work was seriously a breath of fresh air. I mean, wow.
Name art number 1. I've used this handy dandy fancy wheel to select the names I'm going to be working with, and the first one is Ophelia. Heaven help the fool who falls in love. Paul Klee did numerous works with geometric shapes, heavily focusing on squares. In this piece, Klee's poetry is mixed in to create a wonderful mix of familiar shapes. It's almost as if the letters and squares are playing. My planning process was simple. I drew horizontal lines an inch apart. If you notice, Klee used all capital letters and each square is the same size. It may help if you draw out all your boxes beforehand, then write the letters of your name into the boxes. There was something so magical about this process for me. As I was painting, I wondered how Klee painted his art. Did he start at the top like I did? Or did he take a more random approach? Yellow seems to be the only color that's used with some consistency, mainly in the top center, whereas all the other colors seems as though Klee was mixing and playing with his palette as he went along. I also noticed a huge use of the dirty colors, like shades of brown and gray. What was he feeling? Perhaps the meaning of his poem plays a part in the colors Klee has chosen?
Once emerged from the gray of night, heavier and dearer and stronger than the fire of the night, drunk with God and doubled over, at present ethereal, surrounded by blue, soaring over the glaciers toward the wise constellations.
I followed up the watercolor with some colored pencils just to make the colors pop a little more. Then I used my soft 4B pencil and traced back over my letters. And there we have it, Ophelia. Name art number 2. And the second name from our handy dandy fancy wheel is Peter.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, so this piece. Wow. I went on a binger and looked through hundreds of Klee's artworks. But this piece right here, look at it. This is when I knew I had to do a Paul Klee inspired name art video because this artwork just made my jaw drop. How can a grown man paint with the hand in mind of a small child? Now, Klee wasn't notorious for using letters in all of his artworks, but do you see these letters? There's P's and S's and K's and M's and R's and... It's so rudimentary, yet so thoughtful. I stuck true to this art piece by painting the same colors I see in Klee's work. White, red crimson, lemon yellow, ultramarine blue, and burnt umber. I loved using the limited color palette on this piece. One thing I noticed was that Clay did not let any colors touch one another, so that was pretty fun plotting out each color as I went along. I wonder if Clay did the same thing. Did he plan, or did he just set restrictions and then go with his intuition? I made sure to add the moon shape. However, what is that? It reminds me of Batman. I just love it. After finishing all the colors, I went back in with a round brush and black acrylic paint and added an outline. My first instinct was to make them clean and straight, but no. Like I said, Clay's hand was very childlike, so I tried to relax and just go with the flow. And there we have it, Peter. I actually know 2 Peters. Maybe I should send this to one of them. Name art number 3. And the wheel says Henry. These pieces, as well as the last one, came way later in Clay's works. As he grew ill, he began using these more bolder black lines throughout his pieces, yet he continued to utilize a lot of color. I started out by writing Henry down the paper and then filling in with random line work. I noticed Clay was careful to leave space between each of his characters and that he used circles and angles. I drew inspiration from both of these pieces, however, they both tell a very different story. The comedian's handbill to me is quite comical. It's almost caveman-like too. There are a lot more angles within this piece. Park near Lou seems more peaceful, and it captures the essence of trees and the wind and people playing in the sunlight. I laid the black acrylic lines down first this time, and using watercolors gave each line a bold outline. I noticed that Clay used warm colors to outline the lines and used cooler colors to fill in the background. I made sure to include the grays and the browns in this piece as well. The final step was to outline the black line with a white color pencil. Now, I guess one could say the name has gone a little bit rogue in these paintings, but I think Paul Klee would agree with me in saying that that's the joy of it all. Just have fun and lay the paint down however you wish.
I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know I did. I had so much fun creating these pieces of art. I mean, look at this Peter. I just love it. Airplane. Isn't that so amazing? And I know you can do this too. Do you think we can do it? I think we can. If you really like this video, be sure to subscribe below and leave a comment. Oh, and also click that subscribe button for me. That would be amazing. If you decide to take on Paul Klee inspired name art yourself, be sure to take a picture and tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your artwork. Well, that's all for today. I'll see you next time.